Okay, here we are, week 16. I got really sick this week, and so I was contagious and I couldn't come to school. I ended being out several days, but I want to tell you what blended learning did for me being sick this week. It was super exciting. Um, so on Tuesday, Monday, I thought I'd be back. So I just kind of gave them, one of those easy things you plan for kids when you have to be out for a day. But on Tuesday, I had assignments created, everything ready to go. I'm sitting at home on my computer in my pajamas, with my tissues and everything because I don't feel good. And I literally left, just a little paragraph statement for the sub to say. And I let the class hour get about 10 minutes in. And then I made a phone call to my classroom. And I had the sub put me on speaker and I said, okay, so-and-so, I noticed you haven't gotten into your assignment yet. And this person, and this person haven't gotten into your assignment yet. So, all right, guys, let's get going. Let's make this happen. Because at home, I can see it all. I know who's actually getting something done and who's not. And I can say, and so, you're in your assignment, but I noticed you haven't finished one question. Do you need any help? Are you doing okay? Or do you just need to get going? My kids are laughing at me literally because they know, oh my gosh, Mrs. C is spying on us from home. And so then I waited another probably 20 minutes and I made another phone call and had them put me on speaker and said, oh, I noticed you, and I actually started calling kids up one at a time on the phone. I said, okay, I noticed that you haven't finished any questions yet. Do you need any help? Are you confused? And it was actually an assignment that they totally knew how to do. It was one of those review things, like we're just trying to get that skill solidified. We want to make sure they can just kill it no matter what. And I talked to every, and they're like, yeah. And so we talked about most of them. They just weren't staying on task. Some of them did need some help, so we talked about it. In one of my class hours when I called, they were like, Miss C, we don't get this. And I said, okay, we'll just call him Jimmy. I said, Jimmy, head to the board. I want you to write this on the board. And I'm on the speakerphone. And he goes to the board and I said, write this down. And I talked them through the couple simple steps. And they're like, oh, okay, we get it. We totally get it. I said, all right, get going. Let's make this happen. And so I literally sat at home and watched them do their assignments, watched what questions they got right, which ones they got wrong. When I'm on the phone with kids that were having a problem, I said, well, I noticed you put this in. And I got to ask some specific questions because I could see exactly what they were entering. So anyway, it was so cool. I know sometimes when we're home, we don't really want to engage in school. And there was a day or so there that I didn't because I just felt so icky. And I had other things for my students to do. However, it was really nice that day that I did have a little bit of energy. And it just took a couple minutes. It was like I just had my laptop sitting out. And when that time came around, I just hit refresh. And I said, okay, who's doing what? And I made a phone call. It was awesome. My kids laughed hysterically. They thought it was so funny that I was checking up on them. Every time I would call, I could just hear laugh. After the first call, when they're like, oh my gosh, she's watching us, they would just laugh. Every time the phone got picked up, you could just hear the whole class like, there she is again, checking in on us. But you know what? I didn't come back to one, I didn't know how to do it, or one, well, I didn't know that's what you wanted, or I didn't come back to any of that. I came back to finished assignments and completed work, and it was totally awesome. So I know that's kind of crazy and nuts that I'm that excited about being sick and what I can do from home. But I thought it was really, really powerful. So I know this is a really short video this week because it's been a really short week for me being homesick. But I am in love with this portal and I'm in love with blended learning, what it can do for my kids. Next week is the big rush to Christmas, so we are drilling skills right now and trying to get ready for that test right before we leave for Christmas break. Like I talked in my last video, they really struggled on the quiz, but it gave me some great benchmarks for what we needed to work on. So we re-hit some skills. Last week when I knew they were struggling in that quiz, again, so easy to do with that portal compared to what I could do before that. This week we were re-hitting other skills and I got to kind of orchestrate that from home, which is amazing that it went that well even though I was sitting at home. And we're drilling some more skills getting ready. I'm loving it. It's totally helping me really assess where my kids are at, how good they're doing, where we need to pick up different things. and what things they totally have nailed, and we can just move on. So anyway, I know it's kind of hilarious that I'm that excited about being sick and missing that many days, and normally you come back to a crazy classroom and a mess and all these things to correct that kids didn't understand, and it saved me so much time just putting in a few minutes at home during those days that I was off. I had a few people in the building laughing because the kids were like, man, Mrs. C is checking in on us from home. So anyway, very cool. I was excited this week. So can't wait to talk to you guys about next week. We'll see how those tests go after the quiz and some of the reassessments that we've done and some of the reteaching that I've done. So hopefully being able to jump on top of this, these holes that we've seen quickly is going to make a huge difference, especially when we're talking, we're just, it's just been those last couple weeks before Christmas break and after Thanksgiving. So excited that I can react so quickly, especially in this time frame of the school year. All right, talk to you guys next week.